Hello, my name is Jamie Lee, and I'm a leadership and negotiation coach for smart women who hate office politics. I help them get promoted and better paid without throwing anyone under the bus. Yep, it is possible. And I want to share with you the time is now for you to start signaling your promotability so that by the time you go to have that conversation, whether at the end of this year or beginning of next year, 2021, it's a no-brainer that you are ready and capable to be promoted, to be better paid. Now, I want to share with you 3 simple suggestions that you can start implementing right away. And I will guarantee that if you implement these 3 steps, you will have a different result at the end of the year. You will have more confidence. You will have a different perception of value. You will be perceived differently by the people around you, by the decision makers who engage with you on a day-to-day basis. It's how you show up to everyday workplace conversations when you go to give updates and when you go to ask questions. So the first thing that you want to do is think like a CEO. Think like a CEO. What does the CEO of your business most care about? What keeps the CEO of your organization up at night worrying about? This was a big aha moment for my client who was negotiating her salary earlier this year. She had done a great job, but she was struggling to articulate her value in a compelling way in the conversation with her manager. And she realized she was thinking about herself as an employee in this workplace conversation. And her thought was that as an employee, when you go to have these conversations with the manager, you bring complaints. You talk about what's not going right. And so when she thought about herself as an employee in that context, she didn't feel empowered. She didn't feel confident. And so I asked her, what if you saw yourself as the CEO of the business unit that you're running? And she's like, oh, well then that changes everything. I would show up differently. I would be more confident. I would, articulate the value add of my contributions, and I would help them see that this is going to help the organization, and I would see the organization as my client. Right? So if that's too big of a stretch for you, you can also think about what does my manager most care about and why, and get really clear on that. What do they most care about? For my client who works in finance, she realized her managers most care about getting the financial statements done and into the hands of the investors sooner rather than later. This is the most important thing. This is what the executives are concerned about because they need investors and they want to keep investors happy. And so when she realized that's what they most care about, this really helped her with point number 2 and point number 3. Okay, point number 2 is the simple step that you can take to not be taken for granted for everything that you do. We get taken for granted when we take for granted what other people know about the progress we're making in our jobs. So what you do for this, number 2, is that you give an update, regular update on the progress that you're making, regardless of whether you're done or not. Even if you're in the middle of creating a specific accomplishment, give an update and tie it to the specific benefit that the manager or the CEO most cares about. So for my client who works in finance, she can say, hey, I'm working on this automation tool because I know that once it's done, it's going to help us save time and get the reports in the hands of our investors sooner rather than later. Do it consistently. Don't take it for granted that people know the impact, the benefit of what you do. Remind them often and early. And number 3, when you have questions, you want to think like a CEO and offer solutions. Whenever you have a problem, whenever you have something that you're stuck on, whenever you have a question for your manager, first ask yourself, if I were the manager, what would I do? If I were the CEO, what would I suggest? And it's okay. You might be wrong. That's all right. It's not a problem. You can say, hey, this is my thinking on this. What are your thoughts? This is my thought on how we can resolve this issue. What are your thoughts on that? And that signals to the manager and people around you that you are thinking and operating at a higher level. They will see that you are ready and capable to be a manager. Now, I wish I can tell you all of the specific things that you can do, maybe specific tweaks you can make in your workplace communication, specific things that you can do to overcome office politics in your situation. And so, in this 5-minute video, I can't, but if you would like me to help you, I want to invite you to book a free consultation with me. The link is below. I will help you map out exactly what you need to do, what you can do to take back control, what you can do to signal your leadership, what you can do to grow your negotiation power so that by the time you go to sit down and have that one-on-one performance review, it's a no-brainer. They already think you're a manager. They already think you're ready to be promoted and better paid, okay? So if that's what you want, let's chat. I will talk to you soon.